Hey guys, welcome back to Feather's Charm. I'm Feather and welcome to a new series here on the channel, My Bullet Journal Journey. Okay, so today we'll be talking about bullet journaling and journaling in general. So as you can see here, I have several different types of journals in front of me, some of which are simply just notebooks. Others are actually journals or planners or diaries as you know them. So the first one we'll take a look at is the standard journal or diary or planner, whatever it is you want to call it. So as you can see here, the standard journals have set layouts. They are printed with equal spaces for each day, each week, a small space for extra thoughts and doodles or tasks. You have the standard year planner in the very front, but these are the general types of notebooks that you'll find in any shop. The next journal I'm going to talk to you about is this journal. This is sort of what I call a creative journal or a junk journal or a daily thoughts journal. The next journal is the bullet journal. Now this one I had created back in 2020 during the lockdown years. And as you can see, she's a thick girl. That's because I had added a lot of other stuff to her because I wanted to, and it made her feel much more used and lived through because of the year I had. So let's open her up and show you what I mean. So I made a cover page, I have a future log, and then we go into our monthly spread. The next thing you see is the weekly spreads. That's what a bullet journal really entails. As you can see at the very back of my journal, I had extra things going on. So I had my trackers, my collections, I had my little thought dumps, and a little area for my astrology obsession. I was very into astrology at that time, so I mapped out my sign and everything, reminders of my birthdays or my friends and family in there. I had trackers for things that I did, so like my workouts, my language learning. I had collections for books and movies I wanted to watch, although I didn't watch that many because I was so focused on what I was doing during the pandemic years. So with my bullet journal, it's all the things that I wanted to do during the year, things that I wanted to remind myself of and do and track and keep on top of. So that's what a bullet journal really is. It is a journal that you make for yourself, by yourself, for all your planning and your organizations and your habits and trackers and your basically your lifestyle. If you wanted to be creative, if you don't want to use a standard journal like this, you can make it up like this. So now that we know how a bullet journal looks and what it should look like, or at least what I think it looks like, let's start looking at how you can bullet journal. So this one is my latest bullet journal, and yes, she's a little more decorative than previous ones, but I think she's the best example of what a bullet journal is. So a bullet journal should have a future log. This is used for your yearly goals, your long-term tasks, all the special occasions, all the special events that you need to remember you have during the year. It's basically an overview of the year. The second thing you need to have are trackers. Trackers are essentially what you need to track daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, however long you need to track it for. So you can track your habits, your daily habits like a water intake, your fruit and veggie consumption, your workout regimes, your daily activities. So say for example, you can have a sleep log or a daily language learning tracker, whatever it is you want to track and keep an eye on, you can put that as part of your bullet journal. The next thing you should have are collections. So these include your bucket lists, your travel lists, movies and books you want to watch or read, TV shows, restaurants you want to eat at, places and things you want to do throughout the year. So for me, I would like to continue watching movies that are cult classics. So I need to continue tracking those. So I will make a collection for all the TV shows and films that I watch throughout the year. The next thing you need to include are your monthly spreads. Now, these are your basic overview of the month itself. So as you've seen in my own journals, I had monthly spreads for every month. So this was mostly the goals, the tasks, the to-do lists, the special events that I needed to keep an eye on during the month. And finally, you have your weekly spreads or your daily spreads. I prefer weekly spreads because then I know exactly what I need to do within the week. Daily spreads are a good idea for those who have a little more time to spend on each day. The next thing I would say is you will need to have a focus for your bullet journal. Now, you can put everything all at once in your bullet journal, including all your daily habits, your health and lifestyle activities. You can have school, work, whatever in your bullet journal, but the best thing to do is to have a focus when you start bullet journaling, purely because if you put everything in your bullet journal, you might get overwhelmed and you might feel like you're micromanaging yourself. So best thing to do is have a focus. If you want to focus on work, focus on work. If you want to focus on health, and so on and so forth. Sometimes you can mix it up a little. You can mix work with lifestyle activities or health and lifestyle activities, whatever it is you want to focus on for your bullet journal. Just remember to have a focus. Don't overwhelm yourself by putting everything in there, because eventually you'll find that having a bullet journal may be a chore in itself, and that's not what they're for. Now, if you've not done a bullet journal before, I would suggest starting off with just a pen, a ruler, a pencil, and an eraser. You'll want to use the pencil and eraser to draft out the layout of your bullet journal, and the pen to basically fill it in. Now, if you did want to add color, use it in your trackers. So as you can see in my bullet journals, I use color in my trackers because they stood for different things and I didn't have to draw out different symbols. I know I did that for some of my previous journals, but because I am now a very busy person, I can only color things in. So that is what I would say. Alternatively, you can color code your tasks. So I don't usually color code mine, but say, for example, I wanted to highlight different aspects of my life. So say, for example, I wanted to highlight my chores. So I could highlight my chores in a neon green color like this. Or if I wanted to highlight my projects rather than my actual work, I can highlight my projects like this in a different color. So things like this would help create cohesion throughout your bullet journal. So you'll know which tasks are needed for which project or whatever it is you want to do, or your daily chores or your lifestyle. So you can do that for your bullet journal. Now, for the most part, you'll find that every bullet journaler or journalist, however you want to call us, we have separate themes for each month. Now, this depends entirely on you, whether you want to have a theme or a design or not. Of course, if you are not an artist, if you can't draw or doodle or create art that, you think would look nice, it doesn't matter. You can use washi tape and stickers and stencils or whatever to create those things. Like I used strips of paper for these sorts of things up here. So you don't have to draw, you don't have to be an artist. You can simply stick on washi tape, paper, stickers as chaotically as you'd like, just to make it a little more interesting. Finally, the last two things I want to say is that it's never too late to start your bullet journal. Now, I know it is February, I know March is coming up, but I haven't had a journal for the last 2 months. But I did buy one, and just to let you know, I am not sponsoring Lecterm. They are not sponsoring me. I just love their books for bullet journaling because I know exactly how they work and how good they are for bullet journaling. So I absolutely love their journals and their colors. They are just so pretty and they're beautiful, and I would love to always use them. I know I've seen other journalers or journalists use different brands of notebooks, and I am interested and curious, but I've not been able to have the time or pleasure to buy one of them. So maybe next year, we'll see. So I've got a noob journal and I will be starting this in March. So you may see me creating my journal with the future log, the trackers and whatever, and my cover pages for January and February. Purely because I like it being a little cohesive and saying, I tried to do a bullet journal, but I didn't, so they're going to fill up a little bit of space, and we'll see what happens because that will be very interesting. But yes, I will be starting my bullet journal in March, so if you want to journal with me, come along and join the ride because I will be trying my very best to keep up my bullet journal this year. Finally, I just want to say a bullet journal is whatever it is you want to make it. It is your own, your piece of artwork, and if you are happy with it and you're diligent enough and you love doing all these sorts of things, then you may improve your bullet journal. But it will also be a great piece of memorabilia for that year. I know that for me, my bullet journal for 2020 is my prized possession in terms of my bullet journals. She is my very best and my favorite because I had looked after her and I used her all the way throughout the year, and I am so happy that I had created her. So I will be keeping her for years to come because I am always going to be inspired by her. Well, that's it from me today, guys. I'll see you next time. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and sponsor me here on YouTube, on my website, on social media, and now on Patreon. I will be creating more videos like this, my Sims build videos, my Lush London videos, and more. So keep tuned to find out what else I can make. And don't forget to be kind, be creative, and be unique. I'll see you later. Feather out.